Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, today we have some intriguing developments that could have lasting implications for the Washington Commanders and the entire NFC East. You know, the NFL offseason is always filled with surprises. But when it comes to the Commanders, this particular story about a former star offensive lineman has been catching everyone's attention. It's a story that's not just about one player, but reflects the broader landscape of NFL roster moves, aging veterans, and the ongoing quest for stability along the offensive line, something that the Commanders have been desperately trying to improve for years. Let's set the stage a little bit. For quite some time, the Washington Commanders have struggled to establish a reliable and consistent offensive line. You look back over recent seasons, and it's clear that protecting the quarterback has been a persistent Achilles heel. Whether it was injuries, inconsistent play, or just plain bad luck, the result has been a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks, some of whom have been forced to make quick decisions, leading to turnovers and missed opportunities. That's why when news broke about Scherff, it immediately caught the attention of fans, analysts, and everyone who closely follows the team. Because after all, Scherff isn't just any offensive lineman, he's a former Pro Bowler, the last to receive such honors while playing for the Commanders, and a guy who has shown he can anchor an offensive line when healthy. Now, for those who might not be entirely up to date, Scherff was drafted back in 2015 out of Iowa, a 5th overall pick, and from day one, he made an impression. He was a cornerstone of the offensive line, known for his gritty, relentless style of play, and he became a fan favorite in Washington. Over the years, Scherff established himself as one of the league's premier guards, earning multiple Pro Bowl selections and earning the reputation as a player who could handle the toughest interior defensive linemen. His versatility and toughness made him a linchpin for the Commanders' offensive schemes, and when he signed his big contract extension, fans knew they had a franchise player for the foreseeable future. But as we all know, NFL careers can be unpredictable, and the last offseason was a turning point for Scherff. The Commanders, facing salary cap constraints and roster reevaluations, decided to part ways with him in free agency last year. It was a move that surprised some, considering his talent and leadership, but the team was clearly looking to rebuild and manage finances. Scherff, ever the warrior, took his talents to Jacksonville, yes, the Jaguars. And here's where things get interesting. Many fans expected Scherff to pick up right where he left off, anchoring Jacksonville's line, providing stability, and helping Trevor Lawrence develop behind a solid front. But unfortunately, things didn't quite go according to plan in Jacksonville. You see, the Jaguars, much like the Commanders in previous years, have struggled with organizational stability and consistency along their offensive line. It's an organization that's been trying to find its identity, and that extends to their roster decisions. Scherff played decently well, no doubt, but the expectations for him were higher, especially given his reputation. Last season, he played over 1,000 snaps, a clear indication that Jacksonville relied heavily on him, and he responded with a solid, if not spectacular, performance. He gave up only 2 penalties and, remarkably, 0 sacks in that time. That's a testament to his technique and football intelligence. His pass-blocking grade from Pro Football Focus was 74.5, ranking him 19th among 136 qualifying guards. That's pretty respectable in a league full of talented pass rushers. Yet, despite those numbers, Scherff's time in Jacksonville didn't turn into the fairy tale many expected. The Jaguars decided to go in a different direction, moving on from him in free agency just a year after signing him. And here we are, with Scherff still sitting on the open market, waiting for that next opportunity. It's baffling in some ways because, when you analyze his game tape and his recent production, he's still very much a starting caliber offensive lineman. His age, he's in his late 20s, means he's not exactly on the decline, and the NFL has shown time and again that veteran offensive linemen who can still play at a high level are hard to find and even harder to keep off the field. Now here's where it gets even more interesting for us Commanders fans. The team has moved on, yes, but the hole created by Scherff's departure has yet to be fully addressed. The current right guard spot is up for grabs, with guys like Nick Allegretti and Andrew Wiley competing for the starting role. Neither of them has established themselves as a clear-cut starter, and that's why the possibility of bringing Scherff back, if he remains unsigned, starts to seem more plausible. But of course, it's not just about filling a position. It's about the chemistry, leadership, and experience that someone like Scherff would bring to the line. His presence would be huge, especially considering the struggles the offensive line has faced in recent seasons, including injuries and inconsistent play. Speaking of injuries, the Commanders have recently had to deal with some setbacks along their line. The loss of Sam Cosmi to a torn ACL was a significant blow, and now the team is looking at a combination of players trying to step up. The question is whether Allegretti or Wiley can fill that void on a consistent basis. It's a tall order, and if neither can perform at a high level, then bringing back Scherff, or at least giving him a shot in training camp, becomes a more realistic scenario. It's also worth mentioning that, from Scherff's perspective, the current market situation is quite puzzling. Here's a guy who's proven he can still play at a high level, yet he remains unsigned. That's unusual in today's NFL, where veteran players often find a landing spot even late into the offseason. Could this be a sign that Scherff's career is nearing its end? Or is it simply a matter of timing and fit? Well, the truth is, he hasn't publicly indicated any intention to retire. That's important because, at this stage, any veteran without a contract is naturally pondering his options, waiting for the right situation to come along. Injuries happen all the time during training camp, and a team that needs a reliable veteran guard might come knocking at the right moment. So, for Scherff, it's really a waiting game. And the longer he waits, the more the speculation grows. Is he just biding his time until a team makes an offer, or is he contemplating retirement? Honestly, the NFL has seen players at this stage of their careers come back stronger, motivated by the desire to finish on a high note. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. For the Commanders, this entire scenario underscores the importance of building an offensive line that can withstand the rigors of an NFL season. The team has invested heavily in their young quarterback, and protecting him has to be the top priority if they want to take that next step, maybe even contend for playoff success. The offensive line, often overlooked compared to skill positions, is truly the backbone of any successful offense. Without stability up front, even the most talented quarterbacks and running backs can struggle to find their rhythm. That's why fans are so eager to see the team make a move, whether it's re-signing Scherff, bringing in a free agent, or developing the players currently on the roster. And speaking of development, the Commanders have some promising young talent on the offensive line, like Charles Leno Jr., who's been reliable at left tackle, and the promising prospects in the draft. But experience and leadership matter just as much, and that's where a veteran like Scherff could make a difference. His presence in the locker room, his understanding of NFL defenses, and his ability to mentor younger players are invaluable commodities that go beyond just his on-field performance. Now, looking ahead, the NFL offseason is always unpredictable. The Commanders are in a position where they need to be proactive, whether that means bringing back a familiar face or scouting the market for other options. The team's front office has shown they're willing to be aggressive when it comes to improving the roster, and this situation with Scherff could be a litmus test for their offseason strategy. Will they prioritize stability along the line? Will they gamble on their young players and hope they develop faster? Or will they make a splash by signing a veteran free agent who can instantly upgrade the unit? All these questions are swirling around, and they're not just idle curiosities. They're directly linked to the team's prospects for this upcoming season. The NFC East is fiercely competitive, with teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants all making big moves and investing heavily in talent. The Commanders can't afford to fall behind, especially along the offensive line, where the margin for error is razor-thin. Every snap counts, and having a seasoned veteran like Scherff, if he's willing to come back, could be the difference between a solid season and a disappointing one. So, as we watch this story unfold, remember that the NFL is a league of patience, timing, and opportunity. Sometimes a player's best days are behind them, but other times, a motivated veteran finds the perfect fit, reigniting his career and helping a team reach new heights. Scherff's situation is a perfect example of this dynamic. Will he find a new home before the season kicks off? Will the Commanders make a move to bolster their line? Or will this be one of those off-season stories that lingers into training camp, with questions left to be answered as the calendar turns? In any case, the NFL offseason is never dull, and the story of Brandon Scherff adds another layer of intrigue to what promises to be an exciting upcoming season for the Washington Commanders. Fans are eager, the team is planning, and the league is watching. This is the kind of saga that reminds us why we love football, full of hope, uncertainty, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all of this? Do you believe Scherff will find a new team soon? Should the Commanders bring him back? Or do you think it's time to fully move on and focus on the young guns? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. We love engaging with you, hearing your insights, and debating what the future holds for this franchise. Remember, this story is far from over, and I'll be back soon with more updates, more inside info, and all the latest Washington Commanders news. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the faith in this team as they look to write a new chapter in their NFL journey. Thanks for being with us today, and as always, go Commanders!